Not that long ago, my 5-year-old burst into the bathroom and caught me changing a tampon. Awkward. It was a lot easier when they were more interested in their toes than tampons. So what do you do in those sticky situations when your baby's not a baby anymore? I'm Kristen Chase. I'm a blogger, a mom of 4, a mominatrix, and your host for the Kristen Chase Show. Hi, and welcome to the show. Whether your kids are barging in on you when you're in the bathroom, or you're not sure when to tell them to leave when you're changing, we're gonna handle all those sticky parenting situations. Today, I'm so thrilled to welcome Jenna Rankin, who is a mom of 3 and a child family therapist. Now, it was so easy when my babies were teething, but now they're older, and it seems like the parenting situations are so much more challenging.
Yeah, sure, of course. It would be really great if there was some magic number that we could just say, when they turn 3, stop showering. When they turn 4, they can't see us get dressed. But unfortunately, there's not. And we have to learn how to read the cues from our children and also to follow our own instincts about when is the right time to stop doing those things.
So I polled my Twitter followers to find out the most common uncomfortable parenting situations. First up, bathing together. So this has been in the news lately, Jenna, because Gwyneth Paltrow recently said that she still bathes with her kids, but they're 7 and 5, and she does that on a regular basis.
Certainly as a parent, when they're little, it's easy to have them in the shower with you, especially if you have multiple kids instead of having all those baths. But I think that if you start to question, are they getting too old for that? That's really a good cue for yourself that perhaps you're uncomfortable with it, and maybe it is a time to start talking about privacy and that it's okay for you to have a shower by yourself and that they would take their bath separately. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but that it's just sometimes people want their own privacy.
Next up, changing in front of your kids. All right, so, you know, at one point you're nursing them, and the next time you're crying, boobies, boobies.
And I think that's also, it's really important also if you have younger children. My children are very close in age, and I did have younger ones. So my oldest did see me nursing my son. But then when, like you're saying, he did start noticing, it went from just being in the room while I was changing to really looking and making the comments about it. He's noticing more things. And again, it's a nice time to introduce the fact that this might be a time where you just want to dress by yourself. You still help him, but you're a grown-up and you'd like to close the door. If your child is learning to dress themselves, you also can say, would you like some privacy or do you need my help with that? Because again, you don't want them to think it's either privacy or nothing. They might need your help still getting dressed, but they might like a little bit more modesty.
Another one, taking kids of the opposite gender into a public bathroom. Now, this was a big one with my Twitter followers. They're just unsure when it becomes inappropriate for dad to take his daughter to the bathroom.
I think mothers have an easier time taking sons into the bathroom because things are all private. Each stall is individual. But it does become a challenge for a father. There isn't really one hardcore answer for that, unfortunately, because of the safety issue. You don't want to send your daughter into a restroom without any kind of modification. If you have anybody with you at all that is a female, I think that it is helpful to bring them in. Sometimes you're just not in that situation.
Next, kids barging into the bathroom, especially when you have your period. All right, this is a little awkward and actually just happened to me. We were away and I was changing a tampon and my son ran in and I actually just took the time to explain it to him. Did I do the right thing?
There are many right things to do. I think if you're going to know your child better than anybody else, and if you think your child can handle that or can understand it, sure. I mean, it's something that he's going to learn about anyway. If it's a girl, it's a great opportunity to introduce it, even if she is too young to be hitting puberty. You can even lead in with, you know, someday you'll need to be doing this too, and a brief little description. I think the important thing is not to freak out about it because then it becomes like this taboo thing. But I think you can end the conversation with, but this is usually something that people do in private. So I'm just going to close the door now, and if you could just give me a few more minutes, if you have more questions, we can talk about it later.
Yeah, that would have been nice because then my son ran out of the door and told everyone that I had just laid an egg.
Yeah, which technically I guess he did, but.
Next. Kids catching you having sex. All right, Jenna, so it's clear that, you know, they walk in on you and they know what you're doing. Is it a good time to stop and talk about it then, or should you wait and maybe discuss it later? What's your opinion on that?
I think it's really important to first figure out what it is that they're asking. Take a minute, Take a deep breath. Don't whip off an answer right away. They might not really be asking what you're thinking that they're asking. They may just see you in bed at 9:30 in the morning and wonder, hey, why are you guys still in bed? Meanwhile, you think they're asking, what are you doing?
Yeah, so
I
no
saw
play-by-play.
you. Right. You know, the real technical of it. They might just be wondering what you're doing. And you can just say, we're in here. We'd like a little privacy. Do you mind if you can give us a few more minutes? And could you close the door on your way out? Just think about it for a second before you launch into the birds and the bees speech.
Note to self. You know, my kids are growing and changing so quickly that maybe my husband and I need to change our ways too. Guess it's time to put a lock on the bedroom door. As parents, it's going to be nearly impossible to avoid these situations. So what would you say to parents? What's your best advice for dealing with them?
I think that it is really important to listen to what your child is asking you, and certainly don't ever brush off their questions, even if it makes you uncomfortable. If they're asking, they're looking for it to be addressed. Stay in tune with your kids and keep your lines of communication open.
I want to say thank you so much to Jenna for joining me today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And thanks so much to everyone for watching. Now, do you have sticky parenting situations that make you uncomfortable? Leave them in the comments and make sure to subscribe to CafeMom Studios on YouTube. Thanks for watching. On the next episode of The Kristen Chase Show,
I had a bunch of Cub Scouts in the back of my car taking pictures of their nostrils and texting it to their friends. So I pointed out to my son why you might not want to do that.
Right. Today's nostrils are tomorrow's unmentionables.
Yes.